Hello students. The next topic of our syllabus is differences between metals and non-metals on the basis of chemical properties. On the basis of physical properties we have already discussed. Now let's discuss the differences between metals and non-metals on the basis of chemical properties. The very first difference is oxides of metals are basic, that is, they react with water to produce alkalis. Now, what are alkalis? Alkalis are the bases which are soluble in water are known as alkalis. Okay, and since these oxides are basic, so they can also neutralize acids to form salt and water. Whereas oxides of non-metals are acidic or neutral, that is, they react with water to produce acids. Metals oxides react with water to produce alkalis or bases, and oxides of non-metals react with water to produce acids. Okay. For example, oxide of sodium is Na2O. Okay, why this oxide is basic? Because when we add water to this oxide, the products are bases, that is NaOH, sodium hydroxide. This is basic in nature and it can turn red litmus to blue. Okay, and the oxides of non-metals are acidic and they react with water to produce acid. For example, carbon, after combining with oxygen, forms carbon dioxide. So this is the oxide of non-metal of which is carbon. Now if we add water to this carbon dioxide, it produces acid. Which acid? H2CO3. So this carbon dioxide is acidic in nature. Okay, and I have already told you that the second oxide of carbon, which is carbon monoxide, it is neutral. When the carbon combines excess of oxygen, then it forms acidic oxide, which is CO2. And if carbon combines with limited supply of oxygen, then it forms CO, limited supply of oxygen. Okay, so I hope the first point is clear to you. Oxides of metals are basic and oxides of non-metals are acidic or neutral. Let's move on to the next point of difference, which is metals frequently dissolve in acids, displacing hydrogen from the acids. For example, if we take Na, which is a metal, and if we add dilute hydrochloric acid to it, then it can easily displace, sodium can easily displace hydrogen from HCl and can form NaCl, that is salt, along with hydrogen gas. Okay, but non-metals do not dissolve in acids and cannot displace hydrogen from the acids. Non-metals do not react with acids, dilute acids. Okay, now move on to next difference. Metals react with water to produce hydrogen gas and non-metals do not react with water. Same as the case of metals with acids. Metals can displace hydrogen from water and can form hydrogen gas, but non-metals do not react with water. Okay, next difference is metals are electropositive elements. Electropositive means metals are electron pair donor. They can donate their electron. In other words, they form cations. For example, if I'm having a compound of NaCl, where Na is metal and Cl is non-metal, then what happens? Since sodium is metal, so it is electropositive. That means it always form cation, Na positive. It will lose its electron. Okay, and Cl, since it is non-metal, so it will accept the electron and always form anion. So non-metals are electronegative elements. In other words, they form anions. For example, Cl negative. Okay, now hydrides and chlorides of metals are ionic. Hydrides and chlorides. Chloride, for example, NaCl, metal का chloride है ये, sodium chloride, and these are ionic. NaCl is ionic. Why ionic? Because sodium has positive charge and Cl has negative charge, and there is complete transfer of electron is occurring. Okay, so hydrides, and similarly in the case of hydride also, for example CaH2. Here Ca has 2 positive charge and hydride, that means hydrogen, has negative charge. So the hydrides of metals are ionic. Hydrides of metals are ionic, and chlorides of metals are also ionic, whereas hydrides and chlorides of non-metals are covalent. Okay, for example CH4. Here no positive and negative charged separation in this particular molecule of methane. That is why the CH4 is the hydride of carbon, the hydride of non-metal is covalent, and the chlorides of non-metals are also covalent. For example, chloride, for example CCl4, carbon tetrachloride. This is also covalent because this is the chloride of non-metal. I hope this is clear to you. Now next topic is, how do metals and non-metals react? You already know metals lose electrons and become positive ions, so they are called electropositive elements. And non-metals gain electrons and become negative ions, so they are called electronegative elements. Okay, for example Na, the atomic number of Na is 11 and the electronic configuration is 281. To gain the stability, to gain the noble gases electronic configuration, sodium will lose 1 electron and form sodium ion, Na positive, cation of sodium. Similarly, magnesium with atomic number 12 and electronic configuration 282, to gain its stability, magnesium will lose 2 electrons and forms cation of magnesium, which is doubly positively charged. Okay, non-metals gain electrons and becomes negative ions, so they are called electronegative elements. For example, chlorine, the atomic number of chlorine is 17. If it gains 1 electron, then it forms Cl negative. To attain stability, it has to gain 1 electron, 287. Okay, now let's discuss the formation of magnesium chloride. Magnesium is metal and chlorine is non-metal. So magnesium with atomic number 12 will lose 2 electrons and form Mg+2. And Cl, since Cl are 2, so one Cl will gain 1 electron and other Cl will gain 1 electron. So this is the representation. हम हमेशा आउटर मोस्ट इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को ही रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. ओके, प्लीज इसको हमेशा ध्यान रखना कि मैग्नीशियम के आउटर मोस्ट में जितने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैं या फिर क्लोरीन के आउटर मोस्ट में जितने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैं हम वही रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. मैग्नीशियम हैज 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, so represent 2 electrons. Cl has 7 electrons, so each Cl has 7 electrons. Okay, now ये वाला इलेक्ट्रॉन इस वाले Cl के पास ट्रांसफर हो जाएगा and this electron will transfer to this Cl. Okay, so magnesium will be doubly charged and this Cl each Cl will gain 1 negative charge by gaining 1 electron from Mg. You can also write this as as Mg2 plus, see, 1 Cl and 1 Cl. How many Cl? 2 Cl negative, and represent the electron. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 1 from Mg. I hope this is clear to you. Now next, ionic compounds and their properties. What are ionic compounds? Compounds which are formed by complete transfer of electrons from one element which is metal. You know metals are electropositive. They always donate their pair of electrons to another element, that is non-metals, also known as electronegative elements. For example, NaCl, CaCl2. Sodium and calcium are metals and chlorine is non-metal. So here sodium will transfer its 1 electron to Cl, and calcium will transfer its 2 electrons to each Cl, 1 to each Cl, 1 to each Cl. Okay, so ionic compounds are formed by complete transfer of electrons, complete transfers. Ionic compounds are solid because of strong forces of attraction between the positive and negative ions. Ionic compounds have high melting and boiling point because a considerable amount of energy is required to break the strong interionic attraction. Why NaCl has high melting point? Why CaCl2 has a high melting point? Because these are ionic compounds. They have strong forces of attraction, and to break these strong forces of attraction we require a considerable amount of energy. That means they have high melting and boiling point. Ionic compounds are polar in nature. Why polar? Polarity means the separation of charges. We have seen in NaCl that Na has complete positive charge and Cl has complete negative charge. And the compounds which have the separation of positive and negative charges, the ions, these are known as ionic compounds or polarity. So ionic compounds are polar in nature as there are positive and negative ions, and because of polarity they are soluble in polar solvents. Like dissolve like. Polar will dissolve in polar solvents and non-polar will dissolve in non-polar solvents, such as water. Water is polar. Why water is polar? Because water contains H positive and OH negative. So it has complete separation of charges, just like NaCl. Na positive, Cl negative. So ionic compounds are soluble in water, while are not soluble in non-polar solvents such as kerosene and petrol. In solid ionic compounds, ions are fixed in position. Ions are fixed in position and do not move. That means what? If you have a solid ionic compound, this means their ions are restricted. They cannot move freely. So does not conduct electricity in the solid state. But in aqueous solution or in molten state, ions are free. Ions become free, so can conduct electricity. So the ionic compounds are good conductor of heat as well as good conductor of electricity, but they conduct electricity only in molten or aqueous state, aqueous solution state और molten state. ये अपनी सॉलिड स्टेट में कभी भी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी को कंडक्ट नहीं करते. क्यों नहीं करते? बिकॉज जो इनके आयंस होते हैं वो अपनी पोजीशन पे फिक्स्ड हो जाते हैं, रेस्ट्रिक्ट हो जाते हैं, वो कभी मूव नहीं कर पाएंगे. और इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कंडक्ट करने के लिए मूवमेंट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स और मूवमेंट ऑफ आयंस नेसेसरी कंडीशन होता है. नाउ द डिफरेंस बिटवीन आयनिक कंपाउंड्स एंड कोवेलेंट कंपाउंड्स. आयनिक कंपाउंड्स आर फॉर्म्ड बाय complete transfer of electrons from one element to another, and covalent compounds, they are formed by mutual sharing of electrons by the combining species. Mutual sharing, जहाँ पे electrons की mutual sharing होगी, complete transfer of electrons possible नहीं होता है covalent compounds में. Okay, since they have strong intermolecular forces of attraction, as we discussed in the properties of ionic compounds, they have high melting and boiling point and generally exist in solid state. But they have comparatively low melting and boiling point and generally exist in liquid or gaseous state. For example, NaCl is an ionic compound, so it has high melting or boiling point. Similarly, K2SO4, potassium is metal and sulfur and oxygen are non-metal. बेटा हमेशा ध्यान रखना कि जब भी कभी मेटल और नॉन मेटल के बीच में बॉन्ड बने तो वो हमेशा आयनिक होगा. अगर कभी भी आपको एक कंपाउंड में मेटल और एक नॉन मेटल नजर आ रहा है तो वो कंपाउंड हमेशा आयनिक होगा. वहां पे कंपाउंड जो फॉर्म हुआ होगा वो कंप्लीट ट्रांसफर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन की वजह से हुआ होगा. सो कोवेलेंट कंपाउंड HCl CH3COH. कोवेलेंट कंपाउंड हमेशा नॉन मेटल्स के बीच में बनता है. आप देखो यहाँ पे हाइड्रोजन Cl नॉन मेटल CH3OH नॉन मेटल्स के बीच में बना हुआ है, तो ये कैसे होंगे? कोवेलेंट कंपाउंड्स. Okay, they are polar in nature. Why polar? Because of the separation of charges. They are non-polar in nature. They are non-polar. Since they are polar, so dissolvable in polar solvents such as water, and since they are non-polar, so they are soluble in non-polar solvents such as kerosene, petrol, etc. Okay, last differences: they are good conductor of electricity and they are comparatively bad conductor of electricity.